Thanks for coming and listening to the psychology of growing your business explosively. I gotta tell you, I'm going wow in my head. There's little fireworks going off because I'm so excited for you. This time as you just start initiating your small business or as you're thinking about doing it is the most exciting time of all. You know, I can remember back 30 years when I was in your place, kicking off my business that still exists profitably and successfully today. And I can remember all the trepidations, and I can remember all of the excitement. And it was all kind of jumbled up all in one big piece. And I wish someone had done what I want to do with you guys today. I wish someone had given me a couple of markers that would help me set a foundation for success long term rather than stumbling along the way. You know, I have to tell you that the lessons I learned have been deep and profound and have made a difference not only in the trajectory of my business, but who I am as a human being and a contributor in this world. And I want to share some of those with you. So, you're on the precipice. Congratulations. You're one of a very rare breed of people who are actually planning and committing to living a life where your passion leads you to day activities. It is rare. So let's talk about the 3 commitments that are going to help your business have long-term longevity as well as profitable exponential success. So did you know that connections, so I'm talking 3 C's is what I want to talk to you about today. And the first one is connections. And that is rich, deep relationship building. And if you're on the other side of me and you're the person I'm speaking to right this second and your head is saying, no, what I need to focus on is my expertise. It needs to be the product, or it needs to be the service that I'm offering. It needs to be my presentation of all of those activities that I have that I'm offering for sale to a company. And I gotta tell you, no. Stop dead in your tracks right this minute. Because yes, your expertise is why your brain is starting to think about, ooh, I could do this as a business. That's the trigger. It's your expertise and your passion and what you like to do. But that is not nearly enough to bring about success in large or small businesses. The reality is that you need to have rich relationships. You need to have a whole bunch of them. And I know this for a fact because one day I started years, as I said, 30 years ago, going, oh, I have an idea. I know what I want to do with my life. And I focused on what I had to offer. But where was the large amount of customers to make this a long-term success? They weren't there. And the reality is that there is no business unless customers, who soon will be your raving fans, or bankers who invest in your business, or marketing gurus that help you pitch your business, or people that support you getting your product or your service out, are part of your agenda. It just is a fact of life. And so if your brain is saying, no, I'm focusing on doing my product list, stop. Those come easily, those come naturally to you. Plan on each and every day connecting with someone new. You know, recently I got a call from a woman who was a real high level person in the executive in the hospital industry. And she had a game plan for, or thought process of how she wanted to use her expertise in a niche consulting place in the business where she was an expert. Now, what do you think the first thing we worked on? Do you think it was the marketing plan? Do you think it was the finance plan? Do you think it was the list of consultancy areas that she had to offer to clients? No. Before she even left her company, I was having her think about relationship building. Now, once you hear this, it's not counterintuitive, but a lot of people don't think about this. You have the largest leverage cachet for building powerful relationships when you're associated with a company that has an outstanding reputation, is well known in the industry. So this woman had a high level position, and she was a high person in a well-recognized company within an industry. And she hadn't thought about really leveraging the reputation she has through that company with new people. So I charged her with what I'm going to charge you with. Start making a list of people that you've always wanted to know, but perhaps were too afraid to reach out. Start making a list of the influencers in your industry and reach out as XYZ of XYZ company. And the chances are you're going to get a response from them because you represent a large company than if you try to approach them as an independent. So my suggestion to you, actually more than a suggestion, my high-level recommendation is build powerful relationships as soon as you start thinking about moving out and being a consultant on your own, because you now have the ability to be seen under the sunlight of your company before moving independent, where your company is going to be far smaller. Now, if you've already kicked off your business, then what I say to you is start looking at people who you worked with, who know you and know your reputation and know the skill sets that you have and know your expertise, and start reaching out to them and saying, hey, I created a business. Who do you know that could use the services I'm offering, so that you leverage on their sunshine from the large company that they're with? That's the fastest and best way of building a potential client list that exists. Now, I have to tell you that what I'm talking about today are time scheduling commitments that you need to make as a small business owner. And one of them is that no matter how busy you are, I mean, you could be a raving lunatic because sales are off the chart, or people are buying your product and you don't have enough time to produce and to do and all of that kind of stuff. And I've been there. But I'm here to tell you that if you also don't carve out time to continue building relationships, even during your busiest seasons, when things slow down, you're not going to have the build-up that's necessary to continue your business moving forward for 10 years and 20 years and 30 years and forever. And you're not going to have the business booming the way you want it to give you the fulfilling life that you're creating this business for, to support your family, to have some free time and go out on trips around the world. It's those dreams that have you becoming an entrepreneur, and it's relationships that's going to have you flying. Because I don't care what business you go into, there's highs and there's lows. And you always, always have to be building relationships, 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 so that when things get a little slower, you have people to reach out to and say, hey, how about this? So, the big C, the first big C is connect. And you know, actually 89% of people who have been questioned on this say that their personal relationships in this cadre of relationships that they've built are really what has created their success. So go with the odds. Now, I'd love to hear what you have to say. Please comment below. What do you think about this idea of connections? Perhaps you've already done the connection bit. That isn't one of the time commitment scheduling activities that you need to be in charge of. But I want to hear from you. I don't want this to be a one-way dialogue. You know, I'm talking to you and I want you to talk back to me. So, I bet you're curious. What's the second big C? Well, the second big C is really equally as important, and it's confidence. Yes, confidence. The reality is that confidence is an internal process that demonstrates itself on the outside world. And confidence has a ton to do with your success. So the reality is if you can't speak confidently about why you make a difference, what client in the world would ever purchase your products or your services? None. Because you're up against a whole bunch of other new people out there pitching their ideas. It's you and your ability confidently to translate your services to the heart of the needs of your client. And I want you to know that if you're not confident, you're doing a disservice to this fledgling business that you are started or about to start. But more than that, I believe that you were created for a purpose and that you're harming those companies that you were intended to produce powerful results with. Now, you're going, yeah, Nancy. People are either born confident or they're not. Well, that's not true. That's just not true. The reality is that when I ask clients and associates and fellow consultants, what came first? Your confidence or your business? And they all say confidence, their belief in themselves. And let me just tell you a little story about myself. I know you're going to laugh and you're going to say, Nancy, this isn't true. But truly, when I first came into business, I was measured as a very, very deep introvert. You know, I like to be by myself. I get renewed. My energy gets renewed by myself. And honestly, you can't be in business. I know of very, very few businesses that you can be in and be entirely an introvert. And so I wasn't sounding very confident because I was timid and shy. And that didn't project well when I was talking to companies. And then I did something, and I would suggest you do this. You know, close your eyes. Think back over all of the years that you've been working, or all of the education that you've had, or all the activities that you've been involved in that have sparked you with the knowing that business is in your future. And think of all the triumphs you had. There's a lot, aren't there? It's that you stand on. It's that sure knowledge that no matter what comes up, I'm capable of overcoming the challenges because I am an expert, because I do have knowledge, because I am. Do you see where I'm at? The truth is that unless you could stand on that foundation, it is very, very rare that you'll ever be able to build a business. You know, I was coaching a guy recently, and I was planning on recommending him to be a presenter at a global summit. And so I said to him, hey, put together a little package so that I can forward it to the people that I know. And he sent me a package, and it was really a good package. He wrote about, you know, the book he wrote. And by the way, it was a bestseller for 2 years. He wrote about how what he does and what his concepts are all about are going to change the face of the globe. And by the way, they can. And so I'm going, whoa, this is really high potency. And then I read just a little further, and his final paragraph, and I'm not quoting it, because I really, really like this guy. But it was something to the effect of, please take me under consideration. I would be so happy to be a speaker at this great and glorious organization, and I think I can make a difference to what's going on. But do you hear the backing off? Instead of saying, this is what I stand for, this is what I can bring to the table. It was him saying, oh, I'm so grateful that you're listening to or reading my proposal. Please tell me where I can help you. That's not going to get you the presentation. That's not going to get you any success in your business. It's you moving into the space of, this is who I am. This is what I can bring to the table. And it's an internal process that feeds the external voice, the external you. And it's all about being in integrity with results that you've created and the knowledge that you own. And the truth is that there's been research on this that shows self-confidence actually can reveal career trajectories. Those with high self-confidence have a higher trajectory than those with humble, low self-confidence who have a sinking trajectory. Do you get that? So what I'm telling you is, spend time really understanding and becoming confident in what you have to offer from the being part of you, not just the skill part of you, because that's what they're listening to. So again, I say to you, I want to hear your comments. This isn't just a one-way stream of conversation. I want to hear back from you. Write some comments down. Do you feel confident about what you're offering? How has that helped you in bringing in success? If you're kicking off your business, what are you going to do to build your confidence? And if you had low confidence, share where that's harmed you. People want to know and I want to know. So please share with me. Now, you're probably wondering by now, what is the final 3C? Well, it's called continuous improvement. I have to tell you, I've been in business. I've owned a business 30 years. I've been in business well prior to that. And I have never seen a more chaotic, volatile kind of work environment, marketplace environment as what we have today. So it's necessary for you to understand that reinvention has to be part of your continuous time commitment schedule, because if it isn't, you're going to be left behind without even realizing that you eliminated yourself because of not staying focused on growth and strategy and the future and what you can create that's going to be different in the future and meet tomorrow's needs, not just simply today's. You know, I've said to you a number of times, I've been in business 30 years. I'm bragging, because that's rare. However, I'm bragging so you know I stand on a firm foundation. I want you to know that I have had the business called Nancy Fredericks International for well over 30 years. I'm not the same Nancy Fredericks International I was when I first started. There's been evolution. There's been reinvention. I mean, just something simple. I'm in the field of training and consultancy as one of my areas of expertise. And I can remember in the old days where all my executive, strategic coaching was face-to-face, staring you in the eye. I can remember where all the training was face-to-face. That no longer happens. I may have, 4 or 5 big training sessions a year where I'm face-to-face with people. But most of the training, all of the coaching that I do today is using technology. That didn't exist when I started in business. Had I not practiced, had I not continued to explore, had I not asked questions of how could I use this new technology, I would have been left behind. You've heard the story about the buggy whip, haven't you? You know, they were grand manufacturers of buggy whips. They were the king of the kingdom. They were the best, they made the best buggy whips in the world. And slowly but surely, their marketplace diminished because there weren't that many buggies in town. Now, do people still make buggy whips today? Yes. Are they making much profit off of it? No. It's a very small business that requires a lot of effort and very little income. I want you to be moving into the areas that have upsurge, that's growth, that's making a difference in our world, so that you're always soaring upward into the stratosphere of making a difference, which is why you were born, and making money doing it. Does that make sense to you? Good. So share what you're thinking about on that. You know, the reality is that 50% of businesses fail within the first 5 years. And there's a staggering 96% failure of businesses after 10, before 10 years. I mean, like no longer than 10 years. I don't want that to be you. I want you to be thriving, not surviving. So you need to do the big C's. You need to connect, and you need to build it into your schedule. And what I'm here to tell you is that you need to calendar relationships, because you're always going to be so busy. So make it a practice that every time you hang up with a new person, or every time you hang up with a client, you say to yourself, when should I reconnect with this person? Because if you don't do that, it'll be years before you call them because you're so busy. So create a strategy. I want you to pull out your Rolodex. No, I'm just teasing you on that one. I just wanted to make some fun. Pull out your contact relationship management system. And every week, contact someone, no matter how busy you are. I want you to be confident. And I want you to build on your confidence. So keep track of your successes, where you soared and you made a difference, and write those stories down. Some of those stories you're going to be using in your marketing, and some of those stories are going to be there when there's a dip in the marketplace to remind you to stand on the firm foundation of who you be and what you do, not circumstances. And then again, continuous improvement. The reality is that improvement in today's marketplace is necessary for the big guys, and it's necessary for us smaller guys or gals, as the case may be. Keep it going. Keep it going. So thank you so much. Please, I really, really ask that you make a comment below so that we can have a dialogue that's meaningful and enriches both of our lives. That's why I made this video. And that's why I'm interested in talking to you about the psychology of getting your business and growing it exponentially and explosively. Thanks so much. Have a great one. Bye.